Welcome to the Scatterpot podcast, where we do things that scatter you to the four winds because we're flat earthers and the four corners.
Excuse me?
What?
I didn't know we were
I'm
flat
Josh.
earthers. I'm Kanan.
I'm David.
And this is the Scatterpot podcast.
Gosh, you keep wanting to do a jingle.
I know.
We should get Daniel Russell do a jingle for us because he plays instruments.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that.
Daniel Russell. We want a jingle.
Does he listen to this? That'd be awesome if he listened to this.
I showed it to him. If he listens to it or not, we don't know.
Well, I'm going to text him. I'll give him a call him. I'll say, you heifer. Listen.
But no, for those you couldn't hear, we do a 5 seconds of silence to get some levels done. And during Huber counting with his hand, I just kind of let out a little toot toot, a little toot toot, a little cheek squeak.
Cheek squeak.
Cheek squeak.
And so it was just like
Cheek squeaker,
One.
mix squeaking.
2. It was the most skilled thing I've ever done. I had such
Glad
control
you're proud
over
of
my
yourself.
anus.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Huber,
Yeah, what's up?
your sniffles, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You guys are gonna get a lot of that.
So
Oh yeah.
the last
You guys are gonna love this.
so the last 2 weeks, Huber's been sick, and
It's not
so
my fault.
you're probably gonna hear a
It
bunch.
is his fault.
I haven't finished.
He doesn't take
editing-
care of himself.
I haven't finished editing last week's episode because it hasn't gone up yet. But you sniffled a lot in that episode. Oh, it's so disgusting too.
That was a really
That-
loud
it-
one.
like,
I bet everyone got
No,
it.
here's the thing.
Everyone's
no,
got an earful
Josh.
of that.
No, here's the thing you don't realize. Even when he sniffles like this far away, you can hear it.
Oh, yeah, you
perfectly.
can.
It's so.
These microphones are sensitive, Huber. Huber,
I actually
I can
don't-
hear that.
Can you?
Yes. I can.
So I'm gonna get closer now. Okay, guys. So we're here to talk about your favorite podcast. So I think I'll start with Kanan. What's your favorite podcast? Dude, you can just name one, or even name multiple.
I'm gonna name multiple. So some of my favorite podcasts. I just. Man, Huber's the king of segues.
I love it.
No, so we're gonna discuss our favorite podcasts.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was looking at something.
Yeah, you're looking at your tissue pile.
Maybe.
Stop. Yeah. Oh.
Huber, what have you been doing over there?
Oh.
What are all those tissues doing there? Oh
that
my
reminds me of
God.
something I'm going to discuss after we get this first topic out of the way. So we're talking about our favorite podcasts that we've watched. Some of my favorite podcasts are is Cox and Crendor in the Morning.
Woohoo!
Great show.
I love them.
Okay. Okay. What else? What else?
We're Alive, the zombie storyline. If you guys have not watched We're Alive, watch it, because it's just not even visual storytelling. It's just audio-based storytelling, and it is Josh Lee Josh Lee might need to change his pants
I'll give you a tissue, man. Here you go.
because he just he loves that podcast too. And
It
then
is
probably my
such-
third favorite is
Oh, it's so good.
this little podcast I heard a little while ago called Anything and Everything. It was a small podcast that I listened to. Sadly, they're no longer doing episodes. It's funny, they're all huge anime fans, and they did.
Heckin' weebs.
We're all heckin' weebs. And so they did about, I think they did 12 or 13 episodes, and so they made the joke one. Huber, please, for the love of that microphone, do not spray it with Febreze. There's a lot of things that I
You'll
don't.
ruin the insides.
There's a lot of things I
You'll
thought
ruin the mic's diaphragm.
the dive. No, so basically, yeah. So it was just 3 college guys who talked a lot, and they were funny, and I enjoyed them a lot.
I wonder
All
why.
right, Josh.
I don't know what
Whoa.
you're referring to, Josh.
I wonder. Hey, who commented on our podcast and
Husband
and then who is
2018.
plugging to another podcast that they don't know about themselves being in?
So Josh's top podcasts are
Yeah, my favorite podcasts are
cut out that
numero
last bit.
uno. Would definitely have to be. It's called Alpha and Omega Ministries, but it's one called The Dividing Line.
Mhm.
That's my top one. For secondary, I would say it's pretty
on.
close. I would have to say I loved the RT podcast, the Rooster Teeth podcast.
That's a good one.
They were so good, and I've listened to them so much. But I would say Cox and Crendor takes it for number 2. I do enjoy listening to them, and they have some pretty funny news on there as well, just giggles and stuff. Number 3, I would have to say is We're Alive, because
Wow,
it
you're just
hasn't
stealing my
had
list.
new episodes yet, but they're starting the new season. It drops
Really?
in September.
They're doing
so
the new.
excited for
well,
it.
hold on. New season or new series?
It's a new season off of what ended. So at the end of lockdown,
No, do not.
at
Wait,
the
the end of lockdown. I was about
you
to say.
hear something about like
Yeah.
them
Well, no, they
going
mentioned
on
that
the
they were going to do
excursion.
multiple series.
I
like
guess
different
it's a series, but it's still the continuation of the story.
Well, because is it a continuation of lockdown or?
No, it's a continuation of CJ and Michael, and also Saul's son. I forget his name.
Yeah. Well, spoilers for We're Alive.
Yeah, my bad. But
No, so like the thing is
it's
that,
called Gold Rush.
so it's
Gold Rush.
actually with the same characters and all.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Is
Their
it a
most
new cast?
recent update was a series recap on the whole thing, and at the very end,
Jeez.
you hear multiple clips of the new series or the
Oh,
new season.
I can't wait. I love. Oh, I'm just remembering like all that. I need to re-listen to that because it. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're Alive is so good. Just storytelling in general, and it's so good. And if you have, not even if you don't have the like, just find the time. It just put on an episode and just listen to it. It is so good.
Yeah.
And basically, like, here's the thing. This is how good it is. So, it's a zombie. Josh, why does your face look very who? Okay. I was like, Josh. So, I'm not a huge fan of zombie survival.
You're not?
No.
What?
I love zombie survival.
Well, no, here's the thing. The reason I'm not a fan of zombie survival is because like it's been so overdone,
It's great, dude. It's like Fortnite.
and so like the thing is that like I can only thinking back, I can
Battle Royale
only think of
games.
very few things that I've enjoyed as zombie like survival, and those two things are. I liked the World War Z movie. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
It was
And then We're Alive is like
top tier.
top tier because I don't like
tier.
The Walking Dead. Does anyone here like The Walking Dead?
I liked 2 seasons of it, and then I just stopped.
I watched the first episode and I stopped.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Everyone was saying, like, it's the greatest show of all time. And I'm like, no.
No, not really.
Because, like, and it's funny because people are like, well, at least it's the greatest show on AMC, the channel it's on. I'm like, no. Breaking Bad was on AMC.
Breaking Bad. I have not watched that, but I've watched snippets.
Breaking Bad's great. There's rumor of a Breaking Bad movie.
Ooh.
And
Did you
then
ever see Into the Badlands?
I remember you talking about it.
Pretty good.
I don't think
pretty
I've
good.
actually watched it.
It's got lots of good action, lots of unrealistic action, but very good.
So Fast and Furious, essentially.
Ooh.
Worse because it's all
Worse than
melee,
Fast and Furious.
melee combat,
Hold on.
like people doing ridiculous jumps, and it looks so fake. It looks
Okay.
so fake, but it's so bloody and so good.
But no, yeah, so like so AMC had, and also there's the spin-off series of Breaking Bad called Better Call Saul.
You are so gross.
Huber is just
He's just so
secreting
snotty.
mucus all over.
He is so snotty.
I need y'all to call 911. Tell them somebody has allergies, right? You know that stupid white trees that like poop out fart. It smells so bad too when you cut the grass.
What?
I don't know if y'all.
Huber's low-key racist.
I am.
It's
white.
Milk Duck.
It's
Huber's
milkshake
Milk
duck.
Duck.
It's
He's our
milkshake
milkshake
duck. If you weren't with us last week, we discussed. Oh
I
my.
am fixed.
No, basically last week we were talking about the concept of milkshake duck on Twitter, which is essentially look at milkshake duck, they're the greatest thing ever. We regret to inform you that the duck is racist. Like it's just sort of the idea that someone gets thrown into the spotlight and then they're like, "Oh wait, they did X." Now, it's funny you mentioned Josh, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can do to help make it more comfortable for me right now, but there's nothing, so I've given up.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to make myself more comfortable. I'm just going to kind of like, ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, as you were talking about Huber with his tissue pile over there, it reminded me, you know exactly where I'm going with this, too. It reminded me of when you invited
Yes.
us over to your house.
Now I do remember.
Yeah,
I had
so-
just gotten done being sick.
No,
and I had a
that's
massive
no,
pile of tissues.
no,
right
that's
by
not
my
one.
Yes, sick. Yeah.
So,
I
Hubert,
was.
Hubert,
You
sick.
guys
No.
were paying attention at school.
Shush.
I was always
Shush.
carrying tissues in my
Shush.
pocket.
Yeah, we
I
know why.
was.
We know why.
Oh my gosh.
Might wanna
No,
have to-
no. Remember, it's
What? No. What? Yeah, no.
You're gonna have to get that out.
Nah, it's fine. But so we went. Who was it? It was me, Daniel, Noah Davis, Jacob, a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
Basically everyone around this table except Huber,
Yeah.
because that was before Huber was cool.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think Huber's cool now.
I got some tats of some,
Yeah.
waifus, and that was that.
But basically, we were all at your house, and we would go into your room to see that your bed was like unmade. And also, let's just specify, this was at a time when you were not married.
no. But I was dating.
You were dating, and your girlfriend was gone for a very long time at this point.
Was that?
This was when she was on her trip.
Oh shoot.
So like a lot of puzzle pieces. No.
No.
Yes.
Because you have to
So-
also know context of my life at that point, and
So, no,
that was
no,
right
d-
when I did the
Boop
big-
is.
That's when I repented. So I was.
That is when I repented. No, but basically what happens, we walk into his
Oh,
room,
gosh.
and what it was his bed with tissue sprawled
Stop it.
around his bed,
Stop it.
and like a tub of Vaseline and
No.
lotion next to his bed.
Stop it.
And he said
It was
hold on.
Vaseline for my nose because it was burning.
And then he said, no, this is all, no, you said, I just brought this stuff into my room because I've been sick the last couple days. We moved it. There was a dust circle from where that stuff was. So it had been there for a while. He says, I just brought it in here because I was sick. And we were like, Josh, there's a dust circle around it.
Uh-oh.
And so I know Josh was a lonely boy.
Shut up. No. That was when I repented and I was trying to move away from said evil things.
How far did you get?
I'm pretty far. Pretty far.
Yeah, that's just a.
Just awful. Just so rude bringing up my past like that. Oh, hey, I got a story for you, everybody, on the internet. Well, it's not a really. It's funny. It's not a stupid story like that where
Yeah,
it
'cause are you
dehumanizes me. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I was just gonna say like Hubert remembers this. So in school we had a locker that was up against.
Oh yeah.
Hold
we
on.
had a locker that was up against
proud
a bathroom stall, and then it had just a small opening between its side and the wall. So during basketball practice, we never took anything seriously. So we were goofing off, and our man Kanan decides to say, "I think I can fit in there," and he jumps in there, and then he goes, "Oh, look at that! I barely fit."
No, that's not how this started.
That's not how it starts.
Well, I mean, technically, it's just get to the part.
So
just get
he's
to the
in
part.
there, and he starts like kind of pushing up against it, and we all just kind of giggled and laughed. It was like, Kanan, it kind of looks like you're thrust in there. And then Kanan said, "Oh, I am," and he just went.
He went
I mean,
ham.
It was like his underparts were made of steel because he
Yeah.
was hardcore.
They
I mean,
are.
the locker was freaking going.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is ridiculous. How is this man doing this right now? And then the next thing we know, we hear crunch, and we're like, what the heck was that? And Kanan's butt has pierced the wall.
Yes.
Yep.
And then also my pelvic region dented the lockers.
It did dent the lockers.
So now the lockers are dented and there's a butt-shaped hole in the wall. Well, no, not a
Yes.
butt shape. It's just a hole in the
It's
wall.
just
I mean,
yeah.
It was
it was almost butt shaped.
almost butt shaped. And now this is so funny to me because your dad did
Maintenance.
maintenance. I was gonna say facilities, which technically is also right, but like your dad did maintenance around the school.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato. So, and you would also help him with said maintenance. So over the summer, Josh and I didn't talk. What? You two were sharing things.
It was just one of the podcasts that I didn't talk about. It's called Doctrine and Devotion.
Oh.
One of my favorites.
So yeah, like I hadn't talked to Josh that summer, and I'm walking to GameStop in Snellville, and Huber, I wouldn't. That's like way ahead of where you were. Yeah, she's actually kind of cool.
She's really cool.
Yeah,
She's really cool.
Her?
Yeah.
her
Frog?
No, not frog.
Her
I
quirk
always
is
looked for
dope.
Frog.
Oh, I thought you were pointing to like the other girl. Dude, hold on, Josh. Her quirk, that girl's quirk, that's like the greatest quirk.
And she's only like she's in the top 10.
Oh no, yeah, she's in the
Clearly not, guys, because there's a huge spoiler. I don't know if you know this. Deku's telling his past. You know, he said, "This is how I became the greatest hero." So Deku is the greatest hero.
Yeah, no, but basically, to finish up the wall story is that I was walking to GameStop from like Panda and Snellville. Yeah. They're like right next to each other.
I always go to Panda. Panda is my favorite restaurant
Panda's
of
great.
all time. They put one near us in Loganville area.
Oh, great.
And
I remember
my joy was exceeding.
No, I remember when that, like, we live in Georgia, in case you're wondering. We live not a big city of Georgia, like sort of suburb area ish. Like, but here's the thing. I think we live in like a semi big area, but it's not until like not until I was like hearing how excited everybody in Loganville was that they were building a Panda. It was like it was like the biggest news.
It could have been the most trending tweet in the East Coast.
It was so funny because like everyone's like, dude, they're putting a Panda in Loganville, and everybody's like freaking out. Meanwhile, like I already had a Panda essentially, and I was like,
yes,
this is it.
Always the salt in my wounds. Every time you're like, Josh, I can go to Panda whenever I want. It's really close. I'm like, I would just look down my nose at you.
But hold on. You were still living at your old place by then.
Yeah, but it wasn't that close still. It was still relatively 20 to 25-minute drive.
To Panda?
Yeah, because I live just about 10 minutes from you. Like, my old house.
I don't remember your old house being that far.
It was.
Huh. But, so basically, I was walking to GameStop. This story's taking too long. I'm walking to GameStop. Josh is walking to Panda. I can't wait till we get cameras for.
I know, right?
This is not happening.
Yeah, but yeah, so like, I was walking to GameStop, you were walking to Panda, and then you walked to me and you said, and this is the first thing you said to me in like a couple months.
It was summertime.
It was summertime, and I hadn't talked to you that summer, and you were just like, Kanan, I just had to fix your butthole. No, you said fill. You said fill my butthole. It's like, Kanan, I just had to fill your butthole, and I was like. Excuse me? And he says, I just had to fill your butthole. And I'm like, and keep in mind, this is months after I put the hole in the wall and the dent in the lockers. Yeah. Months. So I'm not thinking that. And he's like, your butthole, I had to fill it. And I'm like, and so I'm like clenching a little, like, what? And then he says, the hole you put in the lockers with your butt, the butthole. And I'm like, oh, you're talking about my hole of my butt.
Yes.
Not the hole of my butt, the butt of
the hole that of which my butt made.
The hole. It would be the hole of my butt. Well, that's also my butthole.
The butt of my hole.
The butt of my hole.
There you
go. The hole of my butt.
Well, anyways, Kanan's sitting there and he's just like, oh.
Well, yeah, you don't tell someone I filled your butthole.
And I had fixed it that day. And me and my dad were starving for some Panda, so we split out of Loganville and got into Snellville. It was like, give us the Panda.
You fixed my butthole good.
Sure did.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do we talk about now that we've grossed out half our audience?
So Huber is a streamer.
I am a streamer.
He does
Twitch.tv/attemptedhorse.
Oh,
no shameless plug-in.
I'm just gonna Huber. You haven't streamed in a while though.
No, it takes a lot of time.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I had a schedule I was sticking to, and then it just got really hard. Because if you didn't know, guys, I go to college, and that's kind of a big deal, especially when you're doing something that's going towards your major. You had to get a pretty good grade in that class, and right now it's a big oof.
It's a big.
It's not big oof.
What, you just have to make a C in the class, do you not?
Yes, but I want to keep my scholarship.
Oh, that's right.
I have to make a B. It could be an 80.
That's hard.
Wait. Your GPA has to just remain at a 3.2, is it not? What is it for Hope?
For Hope, it's just 3.
Just you can take a C.
But like with college, though, they don't go by grade.
Do you have Zell Miller or Hope?
I have Hope.
Okay.
I have Zell.
Literally, I don't have Zell because I didn't get like.
Yeah, you didn't get it.
Enough points.
That's the thing. Like, honestly, this sounds like elitist crap, but like, it's easy to keep the high GPA for the scholarships. It's just hard to get the SAT test score that you need. It's hard to get and I remember I got so lucky because I took the SAT 3 separate times. So basically, I am 1/4 the man I used to be, because like each time you take the SAT, you lose a quarter of your soul.
It's pretty rough,
Dude. Well, also, I'm just going to say this. All of you that are taking SATs or about to take SATs, I am going to strongly recommend you don't take the essay portion of the SAT. Because here's the thing. Not because it's not helpful. It is helpful. You get to learn how your writing skills are, and you get to get like personal feedback on why you suck as a writer.
That's right.
But like, it is so soul-crushing. What is...
Don't talk about it.
I can't talk about it. Just keep on going about it.
Continue with your
Yeah,
conversation.
the SAT. Yeah, the SAT is pretty fun. Yes, yes, he is.
There's an itch. Okay. There's an
Josh,
itch. I'm good.
give him a tissue, Huber.
Oh, here you go, man.
No, so
And you can hear it in the mic.
We
just-
probably
I know.
could too.
I know.
no, so the SAT,
I'm crying.
so basically what happened, if you take the essay portion of the SAT, you take the whole SAT in the same amount of time as
Doesn't
everyone
it take
else.
like? Hold on. How long did SAT take? Was it 4 hours or 3 hours, or was it 2?
It was
think
2 hours.
Not 2, no.
it's not.
I was about to say, there's sections that are 2 hours.
You get there at 7, don't you? Don't you get there 7
You
or
don't
8?
leave until like noon.
Yeah, you don't leave till noon.
So it's about 4 or 5 hours.
I think it's 4.5. Well, no, I think it's 4 hours
Well,
for
how
the
many
standard one.
subjects?
There's 4 sections in total.
4
Yeah.
sections, but you get... I think it's 4 hours.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
I think it's 4 hours after you split up the time and the breaks and stuff like that. But if you take the essay portion, it's another hour on top of that, so 5 hours.
Yeah.
But here's the part that sucks. So after the 4-hour mark happens, you can just hear everybody leaving. And if you're near a window, you get to look out and see everybody like leaving.
Flood to their cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you're just sitting there and they're like, all right, we're about to start the essay portion of this. And they want you to do a full essay pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you have 1 hour, go. And you're sitting there and you're like wrapping up your essay and you're like, great, I still have 10 minutes. And I'm like, and I took like a page and a half. And then I look to the person next to me. She's on like her 5th page, like writing like a madman. And I'm like, well, I failed this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, I mean, the SAT just drains you. And also, I have this curse with the SAT. I don't know why. Every time I take the SAT, every time I've taken the SAT, only during the actual testing portions, not during the breaks or anything like that, my nose starts running like a madman.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not talking like I'm sniffling. I'm talking like that moment when your mucus just becomes pure liquid, and it's just
God,
like...
yeah.
Oh,
That's what it was yesterday for me. It
And so,
sucked.
like, you're sitting there, and, like, you keep on... That's why I wear dark shirts that's why I wore... The first time I didn't wear a dark shirt, mistake. Because, like, you just see the mark of the upper collar, like, yeah, there's just been snot running down. And it's awful. And so, SATs are the worst thing.
They
and
are
I
the worst
recommend
thing.
that all of you take them because you need to get the good grades to go to
You do.
college.
I remember when I took it the second time, I did a lot better than the first time. The first time, I bombed it. It was so bad.
Hold on, let's just... What was your guys' SAT scores? Let's
can't-
start with Huber, because Huber...
I remember the first one. The first one was like 900 something, so it was
One.
bad.
It was either 1130 or 1140.
Uh-huh.
That was my score.
So,
I did worse my second time.
did you
Really?
That's right, you did do... Because,
I was
fun fact...
heck this, man. I'm not taking it again.
No, fun fact for you guys. Huber and I actually... Our first 2 SATs we took side by side, pretty much, in the same room. Because Huber and I got there at the same time. We were taking the same SAT, and our names are both H's.
Oh yeah.
So it's Hanley and Huber.
That's right.
So Huber and I, the first 2 times we took it, we were in the same room. Third time he didn't even take it because, as he said, he's like, heck that. Do you remember what your second one was?
It was in the thousands. I just can't remember. I think it was lower 1000s,
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't very, very high. Because I know the peak point was like, what, 1,500 or more?
I think it's... Isn't it...
I thought it was 1600.
1,600? Yeah, so that was like the best place to be. And I was probably... I think I was close to like 1,100. Not at 1,100, just...
So you're
just
thinking around
under.
like 1070, 1080, something
Probably.
like that. So, like, what happened is... when I took the PSAT, I was around 1060, and my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, he's stupid," and I'm like, 1060 is good. And then when I took the real SAT, my first score. Now this is for Georgia at least. This is the rules for Georgia. To get the Zell Miller scholarship, you need to have a 3.7 GPA, or it's 3.5, one of the two. I can't remember. And then you also need to have an SAT score of 1200.
Mm-hmm.
And like that seems that's not hard, but it's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard.
I mean, unless you're just a gifted
And
genius.
the thing is, too, like, after you get it, it's not even hard to keep it once you get in college. It's easier to keep it in college.
Well, it's funny that high school preps you for college by throwing the worst of college at you.
Yeah.
Well, not all high schools do that.
Well, I mean, not all, but for us, we've already talked about victory. We were thrown, like, because here's the thing. Here, I'm not sure about you. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure about you because we go to the same college.
Okay, go to episode 2 if you want to hear more about victory.
Gosh. But I seriously can't wait till I seriously can't wait till we.
He's
actually
licking the
start recording.
snowball.
No, he's not licking the. He's tongue playing the snowball. So gosh, I can't. It's like you last week with Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
No,
Could
but
not stop watching.
I know. So, gosh, what was I saying? So Huber and I, when we went to
cool.
GGC, you go to GGC and like, it's a joke almost when you first start out. Granted, once you start taking the harder classes for majors and stuff, it gets more complicated.
Yeah, the core classes are stupid. The teachers don't even care.
I fair enough. Like that's the thing, and that's just most public education systems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, not until you actually start learning specific things for your field do things even get tricky or complicated. And so like we were given the worst of college in high school.
Yeah. Just keep on going.
I can't. No, but for me, as I said, to get a Zell Miller scholarship, you needed a 1200. Huber, please, for the love of all that is good and holy, stop.
There's only 3.
So by
Puts it back on.
No, but
by episode 8, we will have a camera in our studio.
that's a pretty
That is
bold statement.
Yeah. Who's buying a camera?
Well, no,
I saw no hands go up.
Dude, I'm just saying.
We're broke.
No. Hey, we got a giant beach ball. It got us that.
It's not a camera.
We
You
all
can
have,
steal your church camera, right?
I mean, yeah, you could.
dude, I would be crucified. And it's funny because our church does own a cross. It was a prop for one of our Easter Sunday services. We have a full size cross, just chilling in our storage room.
We had someone build us. He moved to the Philippines now, but he built a massive cross at Center Sanctuary. I remember carrying it in. It was like the second day of my internship at my church. The biggest cross I've ever seen in my life. And this guy freaking made it. I mean, it's probably, I'm pretty sure like the base of it reaches this wall. The arms go out to about where the doorway is, and the head of it goes to where the TV is on the other side of the wall. It is a massive sucker.
See, yeah, the
and
cross...
he drilled out a hole in a boulder and brought that too. I'm like, this dude is in his 60s or something. I'm like, who is this man? And now he's in the Philippines. He's married to some Filipino woman who's 30. I'm just like, who
that
is
man's
this guy?
fooling. No, like the cross I had, the cross I had, my personal cross that I bear. No, it was little taller. Like if it was standing upright, it's a little taller than that doorway.
But
probably.
you could still be crucified on it.
Oh, I definitely could have been crucified on it. Put a couple, because the thing is that the way it was designed to be like just sort of standing upright on the stage. So we had a platform that was kind of built behind it, and we just kind of put sandbags on it. So yeah, if they put enough sandbags for a 230 plus pound man, they could crucify me on that thing.
Well, then I would not want that to happen. So
yeah, but for cameras, we could just use our phones.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure. We're testing a lot of different things.
Yes, we are. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned to us. We have a lot of interesting plans. But so I can finally tell about this I haven't even mentioned my SAT scores.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Gosh, this podcast. It's almost
We're-
like we're.
it's like we're scattered.
I was about to say it's like we're scattered.
We're rather
brains.
scattered, aren't we?
Yeah, Scatty.
Scatty's proud.
What is he? We need to figure out what he is. So Scatty the what?
Richard.
Scatty the Pop-Tart?
I don't think we can use Pop-Tart.
No,
Yeah.
copyright laws. Sorry.
Scatty the the delicious breakfast treat.
The pastry that looks oddly specific.
the pastry that looks oddly like a Pop-Tart, but not a Pop-Tart for legal reasons.
There you go.
You know what? That's it. It's a
Scatty
Scatty.
LLC.
Scatty.
Oh no.
No, but so the SAT scores, you need a 1200. The first time I took it, I got an 1180. I know, right?
That's when you just want to die.
That's it. Well, hold on. Do you remember what my second
Yes.
score? So I'm sitting there and I'm like 1180. That's
Not bad.
2 questions. It's 2 different questions, and I get it. And I'm like, I'm trying it again. So I sign up for a second SAT score, and I get it. And we're getting close to our graduation, like our actual graduation. And I'm sitting there, and we were at Freddy's in Sonoville. Freddy's. I love Freddy's. Freddy's, please sponsor us.
Cheese curds.
Oh gosh, they're so good. No, so we were at Freddy's, and here's the thing. Recently, the SAT scores, you get them pretty quickly after you take them. Like usually somewhere around a little less than a month.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes
quick.
they're quick. Sometimes it takes forever.
Yeah, and so like
Like
we were
the government.
We're not talking about politics either. So I we're sitting in Freddy's, and I get the email saying your SAT score is in, and I'm like, sweet. And so my dad's right there, and I'm like, I only needed to get 2 more questions right, and I get the 1200, I get the Zell Miller, and I'm set pretty much. And I'm like, open the email, dropped my phone at the table, went to the bathroom in pure anger, and my dad looked at it. It was an 1190.
Only 10 higher.
One question
One question.
better than
Wow.
the last time.
Wow.
And I was that's like a sitcom would write that in as a joke for a character. But
No,
it just
it would have been a joke if it was 11-9-9.
but that's not how the SAT works.
It would've been
that would
hilarious.
be a sitcom.
That would have been
joke.
hilarious.
That would be a sitcom joke.
0.9.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so like that would be a sitcom joke because it makes no sense. Boom, roasted all sitcoms. But like yeah, I just see 1190 and I'm like, this is awful. And I was so distraught, and I'm like, I'm not gonna take it again. Because I felt like I'm not. And then
like poo-poo
I decided
Pikachu.
one time I was gonna take it, and literally I got the score back from my third SAT the day we graduated high school. Huber is literally stuffing tissues into a water bottle. Basically what happened, yeah, Huber, have fun with that piece. Basically, and the third time I got a 1250, and it was like, hey, celebration, I got Zell Miller, yay! And yeah, next topic, or whatever we do now on this, what do we do?
I think it's time for Jesus closing. Closing.
Is it already time for
Yeah.
Jesus closing? We didn't really.
We've been
wait.
we've been rather scattered.
One more thing before we go to Jesus closing. Let's go to what? No.
Let's go to
No,
weather.
we can't. We
I know.
can't. That's a great idea though. From our favorite.
Those guys are geniuses. Those
they
guys
are
geniuses.
well, they're idiots.
No, they're geniuses.
So speaking of things we have planned in the future. So we're all weebs. I'm pretty confident in saying that. You know what I just realized? You know what we need to talk about next week? We need to discuss our top 10 animes.
Okay.
Give us time to
Boku
come
no
up with...
Piku, Shimoda,
Oh.
High School DxD.
I love... So yeah, we have time to create a list and discuss it. Because I feel like that would be fun with us.
It would be fun.
Gosh, Huber.
Okay, so Jesus closing. Yes.
Yeah, Jesus
Wait.
closing.
What?
The reason I brought up Weeaboo stuff is so we were surprised. Huber sent a funny meme in our Scatterpot group chat.
Yeah, he did.
But Josh didn't. Well, no, you didn't know what it meant. There was a meme from the game I was about to say Doko no Pico.
Doku no Piku.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
That's what you tell Chipotle when they were like, you want some pico? And like, Doko no pico.
Doko no Pico. No, so what happened is
Oh man.
so Doki Doki Literature Club was a very popular game on the internet. Was it last year? 2018 was long. Was it last year?
I don't know. It probably was last year.
Oh my gosh, I think it was 2018. So it was a game that flooded. It was 2018. Oh my gosh.
that was
2018 was a long year.
that was not. That was like 2 years into 1 year.
2018 was 3 years in 1 year.
Wow.
And sadly, that was our senior year. So like, oh wow. So Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel game that flooded the internet. And Josh, you are not allowed to look up anything about Doki Doki Literature Club. Okay. Because it was a huge thing that swept the internet. Yet somehow Josh Lee, in his ignorance, did not notice it.
Well, it was probably around the time where I was like internet bad.
Gosh, yeah. And so we were thinking.
I tapped the table.
No.
And it was a lot of vibration.
Everything move. I was like, oh no.
I was like, frick.
No, basically, we're planning on potentially.
Yeah.
Well, at least Huber and I want to, and Josh may. We'll have to figure this out. We want to record us playing Doki Doki.
That'd be pretty fun.
And I think we could, because I have a PC upstairs that we can record it on. We all have our microphones, so we could do that.
Yeah.
And I think we should record it, play it. It's going to take us some time to play through. But depending, and here's the thing, and we'll put it on our YouTube channel, the Scatterpot podcast. The Scatterpot, youtube.com.
What is the URL? You have to know the full URL.
Well,
by
the
memory.
thing is, technically, we don't have the Scatterpot / the Scatterpot podcast because you have to be popular for that. So, like, technically, we're like user 6908455.
User 6908055.
And so yeah, the Scatterpot podcast on YouTube. If we're funny, which we may not be because we're boring people. If we're funny, it'll be a whole series. If we're lame, it's going to be a highlight reel and sort of, because the thing is that Huber, it took me a while to convince Huber to play it.
Yeah,
but the thing
that's surprising.
Well, and here's why: the game is your typical visual novel up until the last third. Would you say, Huber, or is it half? Would you closer to?
I'd say after you've played an hour and a half or two.
Things
actually, like if you read everything word for word,
yeah, like it's your typical visual novel, and then weird things start happening towards the middle of it ish.
Yeah,
it's middle ish.
Yeah,
and then by the end, everything's gone bonkers. And
you never look at anything the same.
No, you don't. And I can't believe Josh, you amaze me on what you're able to avoid.
Wait, I bet you this game came out while I was doing my DTS in California, so I was separated from the entire world.
I'm gonna look up when it came out, but Josh, you amaze me because you also avoided spoilers for Infinity War for months.
And then when I finally heard one, it was on a podcast, and it pissed me off.
But then it wasn't even
so
a
mad.
real spoiler. Have you seen Infinity War by now?
Of course I have, yeah.
Thank you.
It's on Netflix now. How can
I was about to say,
watch
I'm
it?
like, Josh, wait a minute, has he still not seen it?
No, I've seen it.
But you didn't even get a real spoiler. You got you just got that it was Star
All
Lord's
I heard
fault,
was
right?
that Star-Lord is the problem. That was a meme. It was a meme.
Yeah, and he was.
Yeah.
When did Doki Doki come out? Doki Doki.
But I think while Kanan finds us, I'm just going to go ahead and give us our Jesus closing.
Yeah, give us her.
So, had my college group on Sunday, and we were reading through John chapter 12, and I just think this verse always speaks out. It's a rather popular one, but just real quick, whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. And it's just a reminder to myself, and I feel like to all of us, we are not in this for ourselves. The moment we start thinking like that, we've pretty much turned our back on the gospel, at least a little bit, because it's not about us. It's always about him. It's always looking for his life to give us meaning and value. That's where our purpose is, and that's what it means when we lose our life, when we value it little, we count it as nothing, and we count Jesus as everything. That's when we find life. And I just think that always speaks to me. It always encourages me to continue to press in harder, and when big issues happen in life, I can take a stand on the truth because I don't value my life. I don't care what people think of me.
That's very true.
Yes.
It's more of self-image than anything else. Now, first off, I'm going to thank the Lord Almighty. Doki Doki came out in 2017.
Whoa, really?
I know.
That makes me, it just over my head completely.
It was in September.
I have no excuse.
2017. Yeah, it was in September of 2017, and Josh just missed it. Didn't you play through it with Hunter? Huber? Yeah, he quickly played through it with Hunter because it gets weird by the end. But what was I about to say? There was something. Oh no, but self-image is very important. actually, there's a funny comedian. He's very, very inappropriate. So all you Jesus lovers, please do not watch him.
During the At Jesus closing.
Yeah, but here's the reason why I bring it up. This is why I bring it up. His name is actually I won't even say his name, but I'll tell you guys later because he's hilarious. So he did these 2 comedy specials on Netflix, and in one of them he's talking about love and what love really is. And he mentioned how everybody to find real love, one needs to love themselves 100% before they can find someone to love them. Because the thing is that he said brings up the points like, if you love yourself 30% and then you see someone who loves you 40%, you're like, oh my gosh, she loves me so much. And he's like, it's still less than half. It's like, it's
True.
It's so like,
That's so true, though.
so like
So
you
profound.
need to be able to love yourself 100% of the way so you can find someone who loves you hopefully more than 100%, goes above and beyond to love you more. And he has this beautiful recognition of a jigsaw. Love is like a jigsaw, and everybody's sort of putting their puzzle pieces together. And whoever you love, whoever you marry, whoever that is, they need to just be able to fit in your puzzle. That you don't need to cram them in there. They don't need to be like, hold on, we're gonna have to move these pieces around so you can do it. And you need to find someone that will fit in your life and fit in your, like, you and you can't force them to change either. Like, you have to find something that just works. And it's very important that you love yourself, and you're very careful about this. And I'm going to say something he said. He says, I'm currently single, and I'm afraid that I'm going to be working on my puzzle, and a beautiful woman who's like the perfect puzzle piece walks by, and I'm like, stay away from my puzzle! Just like he's
Stay
away from my puzzle! He's like, it's like, that's the thing I'm
man.
afraid of. I'm afraid I'm just going to protect my puzzle. And that's how I feel. It's like, I've been working on my puzzle, working on it hard, and someone walks through, stay away from my puzzle!
I can tell, like, that's a pretty worldly view of love. Because, like, after getting married and, like, fully understanding, like, Hannah doesn't complete me. She is not my missing puzzle piece. Like, in all honesty, like, I thought we were super alike. Like, super similar. And, like, whatever I lacked, she did fill in. And she does in some ways.
Yeah.
But I've realized it's more of, like, God taking two things of clay, forming them together to try to create one masterpiece. And that's what the unity looks like. And at least in my eyes, it's just, like, I realize there's so many places where it's like, if I look to her as like a completing form, then the relationship suffers. Like, it will not have the success that it could if I just look to Jesus and be like, you know what, you complete me. And I put all my trust in that. And if someone else comes along, I hope they help me I hope they help to lead me closer to you.
And that's the thing. Like, that was, as he said, the reason I like him as a comedian is that he does mention things like that. But again, he's very vocal in the fact that he is not religious.
Right.
And so it's very true. Like he has a point in the sense that you need to love yourself before you can expect someone to love you. Ish. Right? I mean, we can. Huber, how do you feel about that?
Let's talk about that.
What the frick?
He's ripping off Good Mythical Morning.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's Good Mythical Morning.
No, so basically, like, it's important.
What's Huber's thoughts?
Yeah.
Repeat the question, please.
Huber's been clocked
Between the puzzle pieces.
Well, no. I'm not saying necessarily the puzzle piece metaphor.
I just didn't hear the last part.
But what I was saying is, like, the idea that you need to be 100% in love. Like, you have to love yourself before you can expect someone to love you.
Right, yeah.
That's the part, because I don't agree necessarily with this puzzle piece.
Sorry about that.
I don't necessarily agree with his puzzle piece philosophy. I just think it's interesting because, like, it's complicated because Jesus is that puzzle piece that we need.
Right, every time.
And we know that as Christians. But it was very interesting because, like, we can all agree it's very interesting to hear someone else's perspective. And so I really liked...
Definitely. That's what I think I valued out of what you said.
And so that's what I loved to watch about it. Because you see validity in his statements, but, like, again, as Christians we believe Jesus is the missing piece. What are you guys motioning?
He said that my wife called me.
Did she?
Oof.
No, she texted me.
She texted me.
She asked if I was on my way home yet.
You will be soon. But
Yes, I
basically,
will.
just to wrap this up, we know that Jesus is that puzzle piece. It's just interesting to see and hear other people's things. I'll tell you guys who the comedian is. He's really funny. He's a little sketch at times. Wow, did you just...
My dad.
Oh, it's your dad. I thought it was your wife. And you
Different
just,
phone call.
You just confidently just silenced it. And I was like, Josh,
You know.
what is going on?
You are toxic masculinity.
All right, Josh, bring us to the outro.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Scatterpot podcast. We welcome you to come back and listen again to our crazy, unpredictable winds of fortune. As always, my name is Josh.
My name's David.
And I am Ben Kanan.
And this
Thank
has
you
been
for listening. Bye-bye.
Wait, hold
the
on.
Scatterpot Podcast.